It is almost team of the season time in NHL 23. In this video, we're going to go over all the information that you need to know to prepare for team of the season in NHL 23, and especially if you are newer to the game, you're not sure how this event works, want to make sure that you get all the relevant information to make sure that you're prepared and have fun with the event. All right, let's get into it. All right, so I think the best way to start this out is to just go and look at last year's team of the season, and it is so infuriating that every time I load up NHL 22, it's exactly the same look as NHL 23. Like this. Ugh. That being said, let's go and take a look at some of the team of the season cards. So for anyone that's newer to the game, you're just curious, maybe you didn't play last year all the way through. Here are some of the team of the season cards, and they are among the best cards in the game. They operate exactly like team of the year in the sense that whenever they are released, they won't be 99s. Whenever a newer card comes out, whether it be a prime time or a master set player, they will jump up to the highest overall, just like team of the year worked. They also, in past years, have had 3 synergies per synergy slot. So Thief on this Austin Matthews card actually got 3 points to activating Thief. Again, these cards are absolutely nuts. And if you're trying to play the game all the way through the year, they are absolutely some cards that you should try and get during the event. They usually have the best superstar abilities as well as zone ability, just because, again, it's their last shot at trying to get money out of us, really. Now, in past years, they have changed up every once in a while what cards actually get team of the season. For example, last year there was Young Guns, so it was younger players, and then they did a European team of the season, and then they did a North American team of the season. So you have to keep that in mind when looking into what cards are going to get team of the season player items. Now, I think the biggest thing that you need to pay attention to and be prepared for is if there is a certain player that you are a big fan of, or you really want a card that's going to get a team of the season, like FYI, Connor McDavid is going to get a team of the season. I think you need to be prepared because last year, for whatever reason, they did not allow us to actually create the card that we wanted. It was one of the worst parts of this event. And what I mean by that was to actually acquire a card, a team of the season card, regardless of who it was, whether it was in the Young Guns portion of the event or the second week, which was European, and then the third week, which was North American, there was a set to make a random team of the year player item, and you only got to choose between 3. So if you wanted Connor McDavid, you couldn't just go out and make him for a higher cost. You legit had to open up these random packs that cost a ton, like close to 500,000 coins, and you might not even get the player that you wanted. However, there were some other options during the event that allowed you to actually make the card that you want. One of them was if they had a team of the year card or an XFactor. So we're going to talk about XFactors in this video. So as you can see here, this Connor McDavid, you had to trade in Connor at the highest level or the highest tier, and then a team of the season collectible. Now, in NHL 22, they were going for about 15,000 coins, but I'm not going to lie, there is a lot less cards on the market because NHL 23 has been a brutal game. On top of that, there was a lot more coins in the player base because of how the objective system went this year, where instead of getting a random pack or card as you went through the objectives, you got coins every single time, which ended up being a lot more rewards if you actually went and added it all up. It led to a lot more coins on the market, even though there wasn't nearly as much player base. So that could change, but it was about 15,000 coins per collectible in NHL 22. I could see that being around 20,000 this year. That's all just a kind of a guess at this point. They also added in sets that would allow you to go back and change in master set players from past events. So this Austin Matthews, for example, if you can go back and trade in the very first MSP of NHL 22 and then 55 team of the season collectibles, you could get Austin Matthews team of the season card. Now, on top of their X Factor as well as past master set icons, you could trade in a 1-for-1 on the team of the year card. So Connor McDavid, if everyone has Connor McDavid's team of the year card, this was the one set that I appreciated because you could trade in his team of the year card. You would get this card back as well as the team of the season version. So if you like, the abilities on the team of the season card more than the team of the year, you can go ahead and do this. But this was a set that you should have done no matter what, because it essentially gave you a free 95 or whatever the rating was at the time when this came out, that you could trade in for other things because you would have the team of the season and the team of the year version. So for anyone that did team of the year, don't worry. If the team of the season card is better, you're going to be able to pick from that. Now, hopping back over to NHL 23, my guess in terms of how many cards it will cost, it'll be a lot like the Stars of the Month. Every so often, there's been events that operate like Stars of the Month where you get these insane costs per collectible. So usually for every event that comes out, like Trade Deadline, for example, it's about 5,000, 5,500 coins per collectible, and it requires a lot of them. The Stars of the Month was something that they added in this year where it was a much reduced amount of collectibles needed, but it also cost a ton. So to get one HUT 23 collectible for Stars of the Month, it required 285 overall items. And then again, you saw how much that it cost to make one of the Team of the Seasons in the prior event. You're looking at least about 400,000 to 500,000 coins, and that's just to make the random set. The random, you don't know what one you're getting. It's one of 3, and I hope that they go away from that, but EA just does really not innovate when it comes to Hockey Ultimate Team, so I could see them just copy-pasting, for example, and that would be unfortunate, but that's just what I would think you would have to prepare for, because that's just how it's been over the past few years. Let's talk about predictions of when I think the event is going to happen. Now, just looking at the calendar, my guess is we're going to get, obviously, week 2 of the Clutch Moments event, which will run us to about March 17th. Last year, it was a little bit later in March. However, just looking at the calendar, if they do go the route of multiple weeks of Team of the Season, I'm guessing the earliest that we will get it is the following week. So I'm looking at March 17th. That'd be next Friday would be when we start getting a Team of the Season. And again, I think that might be the Young Guns or the European one. I'm not sure what one they would go with, but that's when I think that we can potentially see it. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they have one more event before it. But again, just based on the timeline of prior years, especially with MLB coming out, I know that they say that won't have any impact, but a lot of people are going to jump over to MLB, and having your biggest event of the year that isn't Team of the Year is usually one way to get your last little grasp out of the community. So I can see that being on March 24th, so that would be one more week. I don't know if they would do a 1-week event, but just something to keep in mind. My guess is the earliest we're going to receive it would be next Friday. All right, so let's talk about prior Master Set players. Now, you saw in NHL 22, if they did have a Master Set player earlier in the year, it did have a reduced cost. Nothing crazy, but a reduced cost. I went through most of the events, and I don't know if it's going to be worth it going all the way back to Spreadsheet, Milestone, or even Spotlight. And to be honest, it just seems like there hasn't been that many events because Nations of Hockey was 4 weeks long. But nonetheless, the only one that I think has impact would be Next Gen. So if you've got Next Gen collectibles or you want to shoot your shot, Connor Bedard is going to get a Team of the Season card. Like, they do have representatives from, the European leagues, as well as the CHL and the AHL, as well as the ECHL. Usually it's only one, but Connor Bedard is going to get a Team of the Season card. So if you have his Master Set player, like I do on my No Money Spent team, you can feel pretty confident that you're going to get a cheaper, path to getting Connor Bedard's actual Master Set player. Other than that, Matt Boldy would be 100% lock if they figure out a way around the not having a headshot, because he's going to win the Calder more than likely. So again, if there's a Young Guns Team of the Season, then Matty Beniers would definitely be in it. The other ones would be Power and Shabbat, just because they are having the best seasons for rookies among the defensemen. But that's really where I would probably draw the line for this event, and really all of the events. There just isn't that many. If you go back and take a look at Nations of Hockey, there really isn't someone that I think is going to get a Team of the Season. You could argue a few possibly, but there will be some women cards as well. They'll do a Team of the Season, a women's Team of the Season as well. So just keep that in mind if you are looking to cash in on, a female XFactor card or Team of the Year card, for example. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I think that honestly, Connor Bedard and Beniers would be the only prior Master Set players. All right, now let's talk about XFactors, okay? Because XFactors really, they lose a lot of their value throughout the year. However, they are a decent way to get a guaranteed Team of the Season card, especially if you've been upgrading them all throughout. But we'll talk quickly about, I'll go over a bigger predictions video in the next week as well, but I'm just going to touch on some of the more popular X Factors and just go over some of the ones that I think if you've got them, it might be a decent time to upgrade them if you've got some power-up collectibles. First of all, one would be Leon Draisaitl. Again, he's a lock for team of the season, so Leon Draisaitl is a safe bet if you upgrade him, and because he's got unstoppable force, even though he is a little bit slower in comparison to other 94 overall cards, it's not terrible, but there's no way that he doesn't get a team of the season card. Nathan McKinnon is on like the cusp. I think he will get it, but he is, he was hurt for a little while, so just keep that in mind. He is kind of in the middle there in terms of scoring, so we'll have to wait and see, but he's got 76 points in 51 games, so I would be surprised if there's a North American version that he doesn't get it. Austin Matthews, I don't think he gets one. He has had a down year, so if you have his X Factor card, I don't know what I would do. I mean, obviously, if you have his team of the year, you're laughing, but his X Factor, I don't know if I would keep upgrading, because I don't think he's getting team of the season. Connor McDavid, that's a lock, obviously. I'm not going to touch on the female cards because it's really hard to figure out what they would value as team of the season. Vasilevsky should. Again, it's all going to depend if they do European or North American and how they split that up. Crosby's not going to get one. Victor Hedman does not look like he is going to get one. Roman Josi would, so if you didn't get his team of the year card, you could probably upgrade his X Factor and then, get his team of the season at a discounted price. Cale Makar, obviously going to be team of the season. Same thing with Alex Ovechkin. I don't think that he's going to get it. He's got 36 goals in 60 games, but he's just basically a point-per-game player. There's just a lot of other options this year, so I think it's going to be a pretty new-look team of the season that we're going to get. Kyle Connor is going to be right on the edge as well. He's right there with Crosby. I'm going back and forth on Crosby, and I think over the next week we might get a better sense, but it's very, very close on if they have the seasons they've had to kind of break into that. Adam Fox, I think, will get a team of the season card. Again, it's going to depend if they do North American as well as European. I don't see any way that Huberdeau or Kane get a master or a team of the season card. And then Kirill Kaprizov should, again, for the European side of things. As we move along here, Jacob Markstrom, no shot. Mitch Marner should be a lock for team of the season. Artemi Panarin's going to be close. There's a lot of Europeans that are having really good years. Matthew Tkachuk, I believe, will. I don't think Zegras is getting one unless they just throw him into the young gun one if they do one like that. Barkov missed a lot of time, so he's probably not going to get one. Same thing with John Carlson. He's probably not getting one either. Larkin's come on as of late. Not sure if it's going to be enough, though. Pasternak will get a team of the season. Stamkos, no. Barzal, no. Theodore, no. So there are not a ton of X Factor options that I think are locks. But like I said, for example, if you want David Pasternak, if you're a Bruins fan, you want his team of the season card, and it'll probably be the best David Pasternak card by far because his agility was just so bad at launch of the game, and his abilities just aren't very good. Probably the best way to do it would be to get his X Factor card. And again, if you're someone who's very good in Hut Champs, you can just get a bunch of Hut Champs collectibles and throw those into power-ups and then upgrade them. I wouldn't recommend it for all of them, but there are a few if you are looking to guarantee your shot on a team of the season card. All right, in terms of cards that I would look to go out and get, I do not think, guys, you should go into the event with coins. So if you are someone that is stacking up coins, as many as you can possibly get for the event, not the best way to go, and I'll explain why. When events come out like this, everyone is going to buy up all of the cards like 86s, 87s, 88s, so that they can use them for sets. What that means is that the demand is going to absolutely crush the supply, and you are going to pay the most amount of coins for each of those cards. You should go into this event with as many 87s and 86s that you could possibly get. Even 88s as well, you have to do the math. For example, 87s right now, if you take a look at the Hut 23, this is for the Stars of the Month cards, an 87 is going for about 27,000 coins. So if you're going to get two collectibles for that, you're looking at about 13,500 coins. again, going off of what the cost was last year, which was about 15, that looks to be a half decent buy. So what I would do is every time that you see them around 27,000 coins for an 87, I would buy them up and prepare going in if you are looking to maximize your, your stash to try and get these cards when the event actually happens. The other thing, guys, is I would not chase clutch moments cards. If Team of the Season starts next week, you want to save your collection for these. I would not go and make a clutch moments card this week or next week. I'm going to on my no money spent team because it's part of the actual challenge that I'm doing. But if I were you guys, I wouldn't. I would hold off. I think Tavares is a phenomenal card, but Team of the Season cards are just absolutely the best. So something to keep in mind there. But guys, that is going to do it. Again, I will have a video that will come out that will do more predictions in terms of cards I think that will get Team of the Season, have some fun with it, see how many we can get right. If you have any questions in the comment section down below, let me know, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.